raining outside and you're looking for something to do? Are the kids bored and want something to enjoy beyond watching more TV? Well, why not crack out a board game? There are so many brilliant ones to pick from, and even ones specifically designed for younger players, which are sure to stave off any whines of, "I'm bored." I'm Maddie from Dicebreaker, and these are 7 fantastic board games for kids. And I definitely recorded these today and not yesterday. Who says penguins can't fly? Ice Cool is a great flicking dexterity game in which players have to flick their little penguins around the board, trying to steer, curve, jump, bounce, and ricochet them all the way to victory. In this case, winning a big fish while avoiding the ever-disapproving Cool Monitor. It's a penguin school, just run with it. Each turn, your penguin will have to make it around corners and through doors to find fish that match their colour. However, one of the other players will be the pesky monitor. It's their goal to bash into the other penguins, therefore catching them and scoring their ID card. It's up to the monitor to collect all the ID cards, or a student to collect every fish of their colour. Rounds are fast, fun, and frantic as the penguin pieces are perfectly designed to wobble and spin, heading off in all sorts of directions. It very much feels like skidding around on the ice. More energetic than most kids' board games, Ice Cool builds skill and precision while also just being a lot of fun. Dexterity games are great for kids who span multiple ages and want to play together, as well as parents getting involved. Trust us, don't knock it until you try it. And in this case, trying it is heading to penguin school. Shaking stuff is fun, isn't it? Sweet packets, Lego boxes, dice cups, unknown Christmas presents in an attempt to guess what's inside, which is probably socks, the soft, silent surprise. But if you and your kids are anything like us in our love of shuka shuka and didink didink, which are shaking box noises, Shaky Manor is going to be right up your alley. Even better, Shaky Manor, also known as Panic Mansion, isn't just fun because it's a game about shaking stuff. It's also dressed in one of the best themes, spooky. This is a game where every player is basically holding their own mini haunted mansion, complete with 8 different rooms and an assortment of spooky creatures like spiders, ghosts, snakes, eyeballs, and for some reason a meeple Indiana Jones alike. Hey, maybe it's someone in a Halloween costume. Anyway, Shaky Manor is as simple to play as, well, shaking a box. There are 2 ways to play, but both work in the same way. You shake your box until the right things are in the right place. This might be 3 treasure chests and your mini Indiana Jones in a specific room, which is a bit easier for younger players, or a specific collection of spooky pieces in any room, which is good for older kids and adults. Either way, you're going to be shaking your manor to shuffle things across the floor, get them through doors and into the right place before your opponents can. That really is all there is to it, but like the best games for kids, Shaky Manor makes a very simple idea very fun, no matter how old you are. As you jiggle a snake through a doorway or try to deal with a runaway rolling eye, you'll understand. Don't believe us? Go find a copy in your local board game shop. You can play a demo of the game without even opening the box. Trust us when we say that it'll leave you shaking with delight. Board games about solving crimes can often skew towards more mature players for obvious reasons. The murder mysteries of Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective or Cluedo aren't exactly suitable reading for younger children. Fortunately, kids don't have to miss out on the best parts of those games, the excitement of discovering clues and using them to crack a case against a ticking clock. Outfoxed is a family-friendly cooperative game where all the players must work together to solve a very serious crime. Who stole Mrs. Plumpett's pot pie? To solve the case, each player decides on their turn to search for clues or reveal possible suspects. They can roll the 3 dice up to 3 times, a bit like King of Tokyo, deciding what to keep. If the 3 dice match the action they picked after 3 rolls, they can either discover a clue about the culprit by using the game's clue decoder to find out what they're wearing or not wearing, or reveal 2 suspect cards and compare them to any clues they've already gathered. If they don't roll the right symbols, the culprit gets closer to escaping. As more clues and suspects are revealed, the players must eliminate innocent foxes from suspicion and use their discoveries to work out which fox is guilty before they manage to escape. A mixture of Cluedo, Guess Who, and King of Tokyo rolled up in a colourful animal world like Fantastic Mr. Fox. Outfoxed is an exciting game of deduction, luck, and mystery for players who might not be old enough to tackle classic crime thrillers just yet. Its clue decoder adds a clever bit of gadgetry to the fun hunt for culprits, and there's the option to make things harder for older kids or young consulting detectives in the making. If your kids are fidgeters, this is definitely the board game for them. Mars Open Tabletop Golf is a dexterity game that has you setting up an interstellar golf course on your tabletop. You take it in turns flicking golf ball standees into a cardboard hole, trying to reach that finishing flag in as few moves as possible. But each round gets harder as you introduce obstacles to the victory shot, from mountains to spaceships, because this is a tournament set on Mars after all. The sunset hues and cartoon characters carry through everything from the easy-to-use rulebook to all of your cardboard pieces, making it a charming sci-fi setting for your tournament. More than anything though, Mars Open is a testament to how much fun you can have with a few bits of cardboard. It's the perfect balance of being easy enough to suck you into the game, but hard enough that you'll be doing specialized finger stretches to tackle the last few holes. There are 27 different ones to go at with unique setups, so you can get something that'll keep kids quiet for a few hours with minimal setup. You can't find anything much easier than Mars Open Tabletop Golf. And the simplicity of the game means there's a ton of room for creativity. The rulebook actively encourages you to come up with your own courses, tweaking the placement of standees on your table. Kids can even create their own cardboard obstacles. Just grab some card and crayons and you'll have endless golfing challenges. Mars Open is something that has a ton of room to evolve as your kids turn from their rulebook to their imagination. Legacy board games like Pandemic Legacy have gathered a legion of fans, and for good reason. They're the Netflix series of board games, unfolding new rules and story twists with each new playthrough, and in many cases, leaving the fate of their characters, story, and world in the hands of players. Zombie Kidz Evolution claims to be the first legacy game designed for younger players. It includes a lot of the things that will be familiar to anyone who's played a legacy game before. There are stickers to record your progress after each time you play, a notebook to write down your custom names, and envelopes to open that add in new rules and other surprises along the way. Part of the fun of a legacy game is the surprises in store, so we won't spoil anything here. But the game starts out with players' kids defending their school against a zombie attack, moving around the board and then killing a zombie or two, or locking one of the school gates on their turn. If they manage to lock all the gates before too many zombies spawn in, they win. Each game only takes around 5 to 15 minutes to play, and there are 13 different envelopes to unlock, leaving plenty of reason to play again and again. After, and sometimes during, each game, players get to place stickers as they unlock achievements, a bit like a video game trophy, which also gives a lot of reason to try new things and play plenty of times. The game itself is very colourful, with cartoony pieces to represent the characters, almost like Despicable Me or The Mitchells vs. the Machines as a board game. Despite the zombies, it's a game made for young players to enjoy though, with little worry or confusion. Zombie Kidz Evolution lives up to its name by being simple fun for kids, but with the excitement of seeing what the next envelope holds. Like the best legacy games, it lets you make a board game that is personalized by the players, letting them tell their own stories as they discover what comes next. Maybe instead of loading up the latest kids TV series on a tablet, crack out Zombie Kidz Evolution instead. In the list of board games whose titles can be sung to the tune of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song, Rhino Hero Super Battle is certainly one of the greatest to ever do it. But did you know that it's actually a really fun family dexterity game as well? A bigger and more manic successor to the original Rhino Hero Super Battle sees up to 4 players take on the roles of caped animal crusaders, getting into an end of the Marvel film destruction level fight in a poorly cobbled together apartment building. The twist is, you'll be building said apartment as you play. Your box is filled with floor and wall cards, the former being flat planes for you to balance, and the latter varying lengths of cards that are folded in half to act as supports for the floor. So, where does the battle part come in? Well, after every turn, you'll also have to move your superhero. They're going to be jumping up and down the floors of these apartments, scrambling to reach the top. For whatever reason, this battle is taking a sort of King of the Hill format, in which the victor is whoever can reach the top of the building and is awarded a medal they have to desperately keep hold of. You'll roll a die to see how many floors you climb, but should you ever land on the same floor as one of the other players, you'll have to have a roll-off to see who gets unceremoniously shunted down a floor. There ain't room in this crumbling building for the 2 of us. The game comes to a crashing end, as all good wobbly towers should, when someone accidentally collapses your ramshackle building, with whomever was holding that medal for being the player on the highest floor will nab the final victory. Presumably everyone else was crushed in the debris, but they don't tell you that in the rulebook. Careful holding that medal though. If you're on top and cause the building to collapse yourself, then every other player will win and you'll be the only loser. Brutal. Similo is a cracking cooperative guessing game that takes a note from the worldwide party hit Codenames. With one clue giver who is bound to silence and any number of guessers trying to interpret their prompts, you'll lay out a 4x3 grid of cards featuring lush illustrations of famous characters. They could be real-life historical figures or even fairy tale characters plucked from the Brothers Grimm, depending on which deck you play with. One of the characters in that grid, though, has been secretly and randomly assigned to the clue giver, and it's the card that they're trying to prevent you from discarding for the duration of the game. Each round, the clue giver will, well, give a clue. They'll have a hand of 5 cards, which will be replenished with a new card after each one played. Each of the cards they're holding are characters that weren't assigned to the grid and still remain in the deck. And those characters will be your only way of communicating with the rest of the group if you're in charge of giving the clues. Each round, they'll play a card either vertically or horizontally. If the card is played vertically, that means the character on the card shares some similarities with the card the clue giver is trying to protect. Horizontally is the opposite, pointing out differences between them instead. Each round, the other players will remove more and more cards from the grid based on the clue giver's cards until just one remains in the middle. If that card is the one they've been trying to protect, then congrats, you've won the game. Similo is super simple but makes for a great and quick party game that's suitable for pretty much all ages and can be explained in a matter of minutes. With a few different sets to pick from, it should be nice and easy to find a theme that makes your kids excited to play as well, whether it's cute animals or spooky ghosts and ghouls. So, those are 7 great games for kids. Let us know what you'll be playing in the comments below, or share any other games your family loves. For board game recommendations for adults, check out the rest of our videos when you subscribe to Dicebreaker. You can also head over to the website dicebreaker.com for a whole host of other wonderful articles, reviews, and recommendations on everything to do with tabletop games. For now though, have fun with your next game and have a lovely day.